Who that nation? Tough loss last week. Uh, man, the Saints were right there on the doorstep, and they gave it away. It was a great opportunity, but hey, it just didn't happen, and we got to break it down. What went wrong at the end of that game, and what led to the Dolphins barely pulling away with that win. And then I'll break down a rematch between our arch rivals and the Buccaneers. This is the Saints Roundtable. I'm Alberto Lucero. Stick and stay. Let's get the show started. All right, so let's break it down. The Saints lost on the road against the Dolphins, 21-17, and the defense actually showed up and played pretty well for most of the game, well, except for stopping one guy, and I'll get to that a little later. But in terms of stopping the offense, they did a pretty solid job, and Tua Tagovailoa didn't have his best game, and he struggled quite a bit most of the game, and it was mostly field goals that they scored other than that one touchdown. And Tua was 12 for 23 on his completions, 157 yards, one interception, and a 55.9 quarterback rating. So yeah, they did a good job of shutting down Tua and keeping the receivers at bay. But that one guy that gave him trouble, it was Devon Achane. He took over, 22 carries for 134 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, the Saints did not do a good job of keeping them at bay. And that's back-to-back weeks that a running back has tore him up on the ground and in the passing game. So the linebackers need to do a lot better, and they need a better scheme on closing up the gaps, because running backs are taking over the Saints defense right now, and that's not a good sign, because if a team can run the football down your throat and control the clock all game, and they know they can run it every single time, that's not good. But other than that, the defense actually played very well. Secondary played very well. The pass rush was getting the Tua, as I predicted last week, and they pressured him a lot. And Tua showed that he didn't want to get hit, and he was getting that ball out quick, and he was rushing things. And the defense did their thing. Yeah, a lot of field goals. But yeah, instead of just besides not stopping Devon Achane, they did their thing, and you got to give them credit. And especially against that bad performance the week before against the Falcons, where they should have gave it to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was able to do all he can. He had all the room back there to throw the football. But credit to Brandon Staley, he brought more blitz packages. He was able to get home more with the pass rush, and the pass rush was able to get there, as I said. And overall, good defensive game plan. They just didn't get any help from the offense, and I'll get to that a little later. But in terms of the defense, they did their thing, and I'm very, very impressed with the way they showed up, and that was the strength of this team coming into this season. We knew the offense was not going to be good. It was going to be based on the defense, and the defense have had a lot of games this year where they show flashes of greatness, and they just had an offense to help them and give them some points. They could really do some things, and they have a lot of young players on this defense that can be something special for the future, because we know the Saints are not ready to compete right now. But it's a good sign, and if there's some good signs you want to look forward to for the future for the Saints, there's a lot of good players on this defense that are only going to get better. Carl Granderson's already a stud. Cam Jordan's at the end of his career, so we know he's not going to be with the team for many years to come. Demario Davis as well. But Alante Taylor and Cooley McKinstry are starting to really grow into their own in the secondary, and they have some good young depth at safety. And Brian Bresee is a good young pass rusher. And yeah, overall the defense is gonna grow and get better the more they get more comfortable in the scheme, and the more those young players start to grow. So overall, great performance by the defense, and I gave a lot of credit to Brandon Staley and the coaching staff for coming back with a better scheme this time. And overall, yeah, great performance by this defense. Now let's get to the main problem, the offense, and I'll break that down coming up next. This is the Saints Roundtable. Stick and stay. Now let's get to the offense, and this was the major issue for the Saints in this game. They were not able to get it into the red zone and really compete for the first three quarters. But late in the game, they actually had a couple of opportunities to get in there and score, and they did a couple of times, but it just wasn't enough. They were too behind in the game at that point, and costly mistakes cost them, and that's what really hurt them. And if you look at the numbers for Tyler Shuck, they look good on the box score. 26 for 38 on his completions, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, had one pick, and I'll get to that pick, and had a 91.9 quarterback rating. And overall, he played pretty solidly. But if you watch the game, you can tell there were times where he just could not move the football. And yeah, as I said, it took a while for him to get into the red zone. And the game before this game, he was 0 for 3 in the red zone and really struggled against the Falcons when he got there. And he was a little better in this game, but when it came to making the play, he just didn't deliver. And as we saw, yeah, he was able to hit Devon Bailey, who had 8 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown, for a touchdown late to get the Saints within 2 points and get a 2-point conversion. But on the 2-point conversion, he was Tyler Shuck was not able to contribute. He was able to get out in space and movement and try to find the receiver, but he threw it right to the defense, and it was a 2-point conversion, return for 2 points, and the Dolphins defense took advantage of it. But the football gods were able to help the Saints out and give him another chance, because I don't know if you saw, but on an onside kick, which rarely ever gets converted, the Saints had an onside kick, and yeah, they were able to get the football back, and it was a nice little squib kick from the kicker, and yeah, the Saints got the football back, and I was thinking, hey, the Saints maybe have a chance to win this game if Tyler Shuck can just get them within scoring distance. They have a shot, and they just couldn't get it done. They were not able to move the football. They had to go for it on a 4th and 1, and I don't know what this play call was. They were trying to go for a tush push with Tyler Shuck. I would have just handed it off, or I would have done like a little trick play or something. But Kellen Moore called for a tush push, and Tyler Shuck was not even close. He credit to the Dolphins defense. They were able to get in there and cause a muck and get to him and stop him behind the line, and that's what ended the game. And it hurt, man. It hurt because the Saints were right there, man. They had a real shot to steal this one on the road and gain some confidence against a team that they look like they're playing better, but I still don't really believe in the Dolphins, and they had a chance to win this game. But yeah, they just couldn't contribute, and it's the little things, man, the little mistakes. You gotta convert those little things to be a good team, and that's still an issue for the Saints right now. So offense has to be better. Chris Olave is still doing his thing. 4 receptions for 47 yards and a touchdown. He's been a touchdown machine last couple of games, and he's doing his thing. So he's really earning his right to possibly get an extension in his contract and be the number 1 receiver for the future. And yeah, there's a couple of bright spots, but the issue is still this offense. This offense still needs to get better. The quarterback needs to be able to, whoever it is, needs to be able to make the key plays, and that's what cost them in the end. And it's cost them again because, well, as we knew, there's a lot of questions for the quarterback position coming into the season. And Tyler Shuck has had his bright spots, but he's also had his lowlights as well. So this is an ongoing thing that we have to watch, and we'll see how the Saints offense can possibly get better as we head towards the end of the season. And I'll break down the next game as we have a rematch between our rivals in the division, the NFC South leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the NFC South, the Saints, the Saints Roundtable. And I'm Alberto Lucero. Stick and stay. Okay, let's get to this Week 14 game between the Saints and the Buccaneers. Saints go on the road to Tampa, and the Buccaneers beat the Saints earlier this year in the Superdome, and it was a wipeout. And credit to Baker Mayfield and those guys. They were able to get to the Saints offense, and Spencer Rattler was really really bad in that game, and that was his last game as a starter before Tyler Shuck took over. And we got a rematch against them, and it's on the road in Tampa. And this is a good chance for the Saints possibly to get a win because the Buccaneers are beat up. They are beat up. Baker Mayfield is dealing with a shoulder issue, and Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin is out, and they're just a little banged up. They have some guys out on defense as well. So if the Saints want to get a win, this is a good chance for them to possibly do that. And for the defense, of course, you got to do your best to contain Baker Mayfield. Credit to him, man. He has been a Saints killer ever since he took over as a starter for the Buccaneers. He is 5-0 against them, has really good numbers, and he really puts it on when he faces the black and gold. But he's hurt right now, so there's a chance that he might not be as effective as he has been in the past against the Saints. So I think that you got to pressure him, blitz him a lot, because he does not want to get hit right now, especially with that shoulder. It probably hurts like a mofo. So he doesn't want to get hurt. So yeah, I would bring a lot of blitz packages. Get to him a lot, get him off his rhythm, and make him get that ball out quick, because yeah, he does not want to get hit. So we'll see what Brandon Staley does. I would recommend he does that. And of course, you gotta contain Bucky Irving. He's back. He's been hurt for a couple of weeks, and he's a really good running back. Good in between the tackles runner. He's not the best receiving running back because the Saints have struggled last 2 weeks against receiving backs. But he's solid. He can catch it a little bit, but he's more of a bang bang, just run in between the tackles kind of running back. And the Saints defensive line has to be tough, and they got to shut down stop those holes and get to him and be physical with him, because if they don't, then he can really wear you out as a running back and as a physical threat. So the Saints defense has to do their job and be physical against him and shut down those holes and shut him down, because if he runs the football, it's gonna be a lot easier for Baker Mayfield to be comfortable back there, and for the receiving core of the Buccaneers to get open, because they're a little banged up, and it'll help them if they can run the football. So you got to be able to stop their run, and if you do that, then you have a good chance to possibly stop the receiving core. And part of the receiving core is the upstart rookie Emeka Egbuka, a really good player. He is a little banged up himself, although he's still playing. He has not missed a game, and he's a tough guy. But when he's healthy, man, he can really really hurt you. And he's a big play threat, and he's having a really good rookie year. He's up there possibly for offensive rookie of the year, and yeah, the kid is special, man, and he can really hurt you if you don't keep him at bay. So Cooley McKinstry needs to show up and do his best to go up against him. Maybe bring a safety underneath, play some two high shell, and double team him, make another receiver beat you, because yeah, if he gets going, it's going to be a long night or a long afternoon for the Saints defense. So, you got to make Sterling Shepard or Cade Otton or these other guys beat you, because yeah, if you let those two players beat you, it's going to be a long day for the Saints. So, Saints defense, do your thing. We want to get some get back, because even though the Saints are not making the playoffs this year, it's always good to beat a rival. And if you can beat Tampa and possibly get them out of the playoffs, because the Panthers are right behind them. And if I was to choose for a team to make the playoffs in this division other than the Saints, I'm picking I want the Panthers to get to the playoffs, because I'm tired of the Buccaneers, and you guys are probably the same way. So hopefully the Saints can help out the Panthers, and the Panthers can get first place and get control of the division going forward. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty good test to see a good performance from the Saints defense, as we're coming off a really good performance in the last game and losing effort. So we'll see how it goes, and let's get to the main problem, which is the offense, and I'll get to it right now. This is the Saints Roundtable. Stick and stay. And let's close out the show with the offense and what has been an issue the last couple of weeks. and they're going up against a pretty good defense and the Buccaneers in Tampa, and a really good defensive mind in Todd Bowles. And he's going to bring a lot of blitzes, so the Saints offensive line needs to show up, and Tyler Shuck needs to contribute when it comes to scoring points when it's time. And yeah, this is going to be a good test for him. Although the Buccaneers defense is a little banged up, and they're banged up overall as a team, they're still a tough defense to face, and it's just going to be a good test to see if Tyler Shuck can possibly grow as a quarterback and get better. Because as we saw 2 weeks ago against the Falcons, he could not score when it matters most, and as we saw last week against the Dolphins, when he had a chance to get the lead and get a big play, he shrunk. So he's got to continue to get better and contribute in game execution and make those key plays and get the lead and give this upcoming defense a chance to defend the lead. So yeah, Tyler Shuck's got to be better. But besides him, the Saints got to run the football. We'll see if Alvin Kamara will be back. He did not play last week because of an ankle injury. So we'll see if he's back, and if he's back, that'll help out the running game and the passing game as well. So we got to be able to run the football, and the offensive line needs to be able to contain Vita Vea and this good pass rush of the Buccaneers, and get some holes in there and run the football. And yeah, let Tyler Shuck run a little bit more, because I think he ran it pretty well against the Dolphins, and we saw he has some legs. Like for a big guy, he can run it. So I think maybe do some RPO, confuse the defense a little bit, and then let Shuck run a little bit. But don't let him run into traffic and get him hurt, because obviously we cannot afford to get him hurt, because we're seeing it with the Giants and Jackson Dart. That kid is getting banged up, and we do not want that with our quarterback. So yeah, just do some safe run plays and keep the defense at bay. And then of course, hit Chris Olave, continue to have that chemistry with him, get him involved, get Juwan Johnson involved, moving the chains and possibly making some big moves against the linebackers up the middle, and continue to grow as an offense, because we know they're still getting better. They're still trying to get better at that aspect of the game, and we'll see if they can do that. And this is a good test to see if that indeed will help them grow as an offense. And there's bright spots, of course. Yeah, Tyler Shuck is a rookie. He's a veteran rookie, but he's still a rookie, and he's still getting used to this league. And every single week is baby steps, and he needs to grow and continue to get better and better as a quarterback the more the weeks go by. And there's a chance that he could be pretty good and possibly going into next season if he learns and he continues to get the reps, and he continues to be a good teammate and go to the meetings and learn and get the practice reps in and just grow. And yeah, we'll see how it goes going into next year, depending on who the quarterback is for the Saints. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if the Saints can possibly get some get back against the Buccaneers. And we'll see if we can get another win this season, because it's going to be slim pickings going forward to see if the Saints can get more than 2 wins on the season. All right. Well, I hope you guys like the show, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm Alberto Lucero. I'll see you guys next episode.